Hi, we're Rick and Sharon from Cargo On, and welcome to our very first podcast.
Our guests today are Bob and Carrie. They're two full-time RVers who sold their house a couple of years back and went on the road full-time. They also have a YouTube channel called Life Redesigned.
First of all, Bob and Carrie, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us. Maybe we'll get catapulted as the best new podcasters in the world, and you'll be able to say, we were their first interview.
Honestly, we would love nothing more for that. Legitimately, what we do, if you dive through our catalog, is we'd love nothing more than promoting our smaller channels because they deserve to be seen, which kind of ties into my rants on occasion. And we do this quite often. About every 1,000 subscribers, we put out about 1 or 2 channels. Yours just happened to coincide with 16,000.
Were you interviewed before?
We've done, I don't say interviewed, but we did with RVFamily.life.
Yeah.
We did a meeting, but we did some questions back and forth. Kind of just a fun little thing, but nothing like this. We kind of shy away from these things. We watched your most recent video and we were laughing at just the way you guys interact with us. So that's why
we're crazy. We're absolutely crazy. So yeah, we're kind of the outcasts with our little cargo camper, and you know, we don't really fit in, but that's okay. We're fine with that.
Yeah, we pull in a campsite and people walk up and go, "Are you going to sleep in that horse trailer?"
That's terrible.
And then I start yelling, "Jeb," like the Clampets.
I love it.
Your story kind of fascinated me for a couple of reasons. Number one, I've seen the growth that you've done. Number two, your editing, you're so tight with everything. I don't know how you do it.
We don't edit. We film to not edit. So if we have edits in a video, they're very minor, and we will scrap an entire video and redo it because we don't want that edit in there. It's all really designed that we can shoot a video, edit it, and have it uploaded within 15, 20 minutes. Ultimate goal, whether or not it goes that way, it depends. The more that we do this, the more comfortable we are with each other. We don't use scripts. We have what Carrie calls the book, or what I call Carrie's book of knowledge. Everything that you see on camera is really just an extension of what we would do if the camera wasn't there. As far as YouTube and rapid growth, I'm going to go back to that real quick. We always laugh at that because we've been doing this for 4 years. And it wasn't until we went full time that people started to take us seriously. And we changed our name. So 25 Plus Life was when we started our video, was our 25th wedding anniversary. And so it was 25 and plus life. I thought it was funny, like a prison sentence.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I thought it was like a jail sentence too. And I was going to ask if you guys were like dangerous or anything, you know.
And that was the problem. We did everything that every YouTuber does. We had big stickers on the back of our rig. We traveled everywhere. We did the History Channel, walking along, telling you about this campground and everything that it has to offer, because, you know, everything right down to the soil composition, right? So we did everything that everybody does, and we did it all wrong. And even with our name, people thought it was like a prison thing.
Yeah.
And so when we went full time, we were pretty much done with YouTube and said either we're going to run with this or we're not. And the first thing they had to do is we needed something that said what we did. We didn't want to be RV specific because I think that genre's played out. We wanted to be, our message is being able to redesign your life at any time, whether it's RV life or a change in mindset or anything like that. So that's where Life Redesign came from.
You went full time, what, 3 years ago?
For 2022.
Yeah.
We went officially full time.
Yeah.
What was the reason for that? I mean, were you fed up with your current situation, or you just were following a dream, or what?
Following a dream, it just happened a little sooner than we anticipated. So we still had 2 kids living at home, and they went after the pandemic. They were home for
Yeah.
2 years. So after that, they went their separate ways, and we're in this house is like an echo chamber. Like, what are we doing? This is our chance. If we don't do it, we're never going to do it because we'll come up with an excuse not to do it.
And we were looking at our neighborhood, everybody was selling.
Yeah.
And they're making record profits. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars above and beyond what they paid because the market was that good. in
Yeah.
this small little nowhere town. And we saw the opportunity because we had thought it had already peaked.
Mhm.
And we said, if we're going to do it, now's the time. And she pushed me. And we sold the house and we were full time within 45 days.
Any regrets?
If anything, I think we probably would have done a little more research. We talk about a lot in our videos about we were so anxious to get started that we skipped things like an inspection because it was a brand new rig. We probably would have been a little more, had backups for things because there was panics with like internet and
Yeah.
power
Yeah.
outages and stuff like that that we had to learn the hard way because I work full time. So there's little things like that that we would have done differently, but nothing like that would have dramatically changed what we've done.
You always have a cell signal or internet where you're camping for work?
When we first started, no, we didn't. It was chaos. We had T-Mobile home because everybody told you to get it. We had our hotspots from Verizon. We had Starlink, and we were still without internet. We had done a video about having multiple backups for internet, and Connected had reached out to us. I think when we had 1,400 subscribers, maybe, and they said, "Hey, we'd like to sponsor your channel." Us being so new at YouTube, as far as that had gone, we didn't get that email for like 4 months because we never forwarded our Life Redesign emails to our permanent. Once we got that email and we got on with Connected, now we have a sponsor who provides us with internet, and it's
You have a sponsor?
yeah.
Yeah.
We have if it's
I have to
free,
challenge you on that a little bit.
no, which is fine.
That's fine.
So your problem's not with sponsors. We all are doing
No.
this. We put a lot of time in it. We're making, well, I'm making chump change. So tell me what your main beef is with the other YouTube channels, because I know you ran into some issues
So-
without naming names.
No,
No.
no, because what we have learned is they send any potential sponsor will send you the contract. They'll send you everything, talking points, everything.
Yeah.
Some of them want, final edit to your videos. We don't do that. They have to sign off that they're going to do this for X amount of dollars before they get the item.
So in April, we started with 1,000 Trails.
Right.
And I had just done this internet video that kind of took off. I think at the time we went, we had maybe 200 viewers at a time, and this did 6,000. So that's taken off, right? We were in 1,000 Trails, Orlando, and we had called out a big YouTuber who had promoted Nomad Internet, which is nothing more than Verizon service in a special box, right? And they were selling that as a one-stop. This is all you're going to need if you're full-time remote. Anybody who knows that you don't get by with just one. And I got really upset with this. So I did this video. Within 2 hours, Carrie and I were walking around this big RV park, and we were met by 2 other YouTubers who at that time were leaps and bounds higher than what we are.
Yeah.
And they came up and they did that. You're that guy. You're the guy that called out the internet people. And we're like, sure. Want to shake your hand? And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird because you're in that same group because I've seen you in the same group with this person. And that's when they go, well, we don't really like that person. And then they clued us in how this worked. Now, 4 months, 5 months later, that same YouTuber is up at the Hershey RV show at a content creators group talking about how we're trash and how we are horrible for the YouTube segment because we called out people for lying about products. So I videoed this. We have this all in a video, and the time that I filmed it, edited it, and went to put it up, we had passed them in subscribers. So I don't believe in putting that video out now because it's punching down.
Yeah.
You don't do that. But at the same time, that's where a lot of this comes from. We sat down with these YouTubers who told us all about sponsors, how sponsorships work, how the average person doesn't care what you say because 2 weeks from now, they've moved on to the next thing. This is why they recycle all the mattresses, all the snap pads, and all the other stuff because 2 months, 2 weeks from now, it's a whole different story. And their focus is you cash in as much as you can, as fast as you can, and you move on to the next one. And if you spend time on the road, you see these YouTubers out there that they've promoted XYZ brand of electric bikes, and they don't use them. They've promoted the stabilizer jacks that they don't use. And all this stuff because they're just taking that, they're videoing it, and they're selling it on Facebook Marketplace, and they're off to the next sponsor. you know that if you've been doing YouTube, if you have more than 200 subscribers, you're going to get that email from somebody that says thank you because you're an inspiration, and then you saying something that has motivated me to get off the couch or whatever it is, right? When you are a YouTuber and you take that for granted, nothing ticks me off more than that. And that's what we started talking about, was just about being real. You can have a sponsor, be sponsored all day long, and I think it's a great thing. Content creators deserve to get paid for what they do. However, if you lie and you manipulate your audience to gain that money, I'm sorry, I call that out. We're able to accept sponsors because we don't sign contracts unless we can clearly say that this equipment is good. And the thing about it is that not only are the sponsorships bad in the event of the people lying about it, but what it does is it changes the genre specifically. So if you look at what we've gone through in the RV community, right? We went from being fun-loving, everybody's happy, being out, connecting with the world, and being with, you know, nature and doing all this stuff, to everything breaks, everybody's quitting, everybody's tired, everybody's garbage, everybody's whatever, because they want to sell something. So if you're creating these narratives because you want to sell, what's the newest stuff? I get so frustrated with this stuff, I apologize. But it's, you end up creating drama to sell better health, right? And there's a lot of that that's going on. And then you have where you're creating these things about everybody quitting RV life so you can sell service of an app to get better reservations. But in the same time, you're saying that in the video, you're saying everybody's quitting RV life, and then you're saying that the parks are overcrowded, that's why you need this app. Somewhere along the lines, the general population is now coming out and saying that they're saying that all RVs are crap, that people that live this lifestyle are wasting their money, they're throwing it away. And when you ask them why they say that, because they see all the YouTube videos talking about how all the RVs are crap. And that's not true. It ends up being this vicious cycle that we've gone through pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, where we went from over-promoting things and being a waterfall in every RV park to now everything breaks because the clicks are there. And it's just a terrible thing. And it's all sponsor driven.
Well, we've seen a couple of channels where I've seen them go through like 5 different power supplies, you know, these battery power supplies like Blue Eddy.
Yep.
One month it's this one, and then next month it's that one. And the reality of it is what they're doing, they're getting all these guys to sponsor them just for a video or give them the equipment, and then they're turning around and selling it out of the back door because they got a new one.
Absolutely. So we use this as a perfect example. We did one of those with All Powers. They sent us the units, an S2000. It's worth $1,900. We did a review on it. They paid us just under $700 to do that video. So truth in advertising, how much people make on this. We're small.
Yeah.
And if you come knock on our door a year from now, that power supply is sitting right under my desk, because that's what we will use. And I won't take on 9 more unless it's something that's substantially bigger than what I have, and that could cover us for boondocking for 30 days somewhere.
Okay.
Maybe that would be something I would look at. But when we go back into Connect in what they've been able to do, they have this internet that has service from the big 3. It's on an eSIM. I have coverage everywhere I go. And it's an honest product. We've got to know the owners of the company. We know the owner's brother really well. We're constantly emailing back and forth. They give us stats on how many people signed up, what their rates are. People that sign up reach out to us, thanking us for this stuff. That's the kind of stuff I don't mind promoting. And I don't mind having a partnership. And honestly, what we do with Connected is pennies on the dollar, just because I believe in what they do and because they reached out to us when we had nothing for subscribers.
Right.
So our channel took off, ironically, probably about 10 videos later, 12 videos later. It was, again, watching the same cycle of everybody putting out videos of everybody quitting RV life.
Mm-hmm.
And I had seen these, and I don't watch a lot of RV channels anymore because I believe it takes away from what we do. So if we're going to be vlogging, I don't watch vlogs because I don't to get involved in our stuff. So we had watched this, and I said to Carrie, I can't take it anymore. Everybody's quitting RV life, and we're getting emails from people going, hey, I just bought an RV. We just sold our house. We're just like you guys, and now we're seeing these videos that everybody's quitting. Is that really happening? So Carrie and I went outside of my lunch break. We shot this video that says everybody's quitting, the truth that our YouTubers don't want you to know, right? the thumbnail is her scratching her head, and it says on the thing, "This is BS," right? Instantly called them out, instantly gave out the motivation as to why they do this. And this same big YouTuber, and I'm not going to call her out by name, but we'll just say that she's always grateful to be glamping somewhere, has put out the same video every 3 months that everybody's quitting, and she has reasons why. They're trash reasons. I had just seen the video that she had done 2 months ago. That's what we filmed on my lunch break. We edited it, we put it up, and that same day, I kid you not, that same day, 3 hours later after our video went up, she did the exact same video again with the exact same title. And because hers was so big, ours got boosted up along with it because it's just, she was taken off. And the comments that came flooding in saying, "You would not believe that you called this out," and then the same day they're doing it again. And ours was the reasons why. And people, it resonated with people.
Wasn't it just the internet, Wi-Fi, whatever it was, that a lot of people had promoted and it wasn't any good and they got sued or something?
It was nomad
That was
internet.
Nomad, yeah.
So they promised everybody, because all these, they had a script that they gave every YouTuber telling them that you promote this as a one-stop solution, that you'll have internet anywhere you can go. That, and there was a few YouTubers, big channels, 200,000 subscribers, that put out a few videos where they threw Starlink in the trash. It's on the thumbnail. They've thrown it in the trash 3 or 4 times to use Verizon service. And then eventually they got sued because their CEO was, kind of problematic. And then they all came out apologizing for it. But in those same content creator groups on Facebook, these were the same people that we learned from massive channels that said, "Don't worry about it because in 2 weeks the normal audience will forget about it." And it's so, I could go on for days of the things that what success on this platform does to people, and what they'll do to hold on to it. It's terrible. We've run a small Facebook group that's called Full Circle Partnership. Right now we're about 12 members strong. Depending on when your video comes out, we've probably already announced this. That is just basically people that have agreed to be honest and fair in what they're doing and how they promote their lifestyle, and just not do what we're seeing. I think you're starting to see a shift on YouTube where people have had enough of this and they're coming back to channels that are just going to be real. And believe me, we're not the savior of the masses here. We're just two people that have had enough with it. And if we're going to do YouTube, we're going to do it our way. We knew nothing about YouTube until 2016. And we started watching back when Less Junk More Journey had like maybe 10,000 subscribers. And they did a section, they did Kataba. It's a video they've done really well with, called Captain Underpants. And there was a guy up there in his underwear at the top of the mountain. But this was what YouTube was back in the day. Was back in 2016, I say back in the day, but it was honest, just like people like them and Nate Versa showing their life. And then we got involved with Traveling Robert, and there wasn't the nonsense that you see today. And ironically, the two of them really have held true to who they are through this whole thing.
Why did you start a YouTube channel originally?
Because we love our kids and we wanted to embarrass them.
Love it.
Legitimately.
Carrie never speaks, but when she does, it's perfect.
It's a zinger.
It really was. It was, we were watching Traveling Robert, and like everybody else, I said, I could do that. And come to find out, I can't. I did the worst video ever. You go back through our archives. It's one in Ocean City, Maryland. It's one of our first videos, and it sucked.
They all suck at first.
Oh no, this was trash. It will never be better. I don't do those types of videos anymore. But it was nice when the kids would have friends over. We'd be like, hey, we're YouTubers. We have 30 subscribers. Come watch us. And it was fun. During the pandemic, we had quit for like 5 or 6 months, just because it takes so much out of you. Really, we would have been done if it wasn't for that one guy in Hershey. And the minute he started talking and it got back to us, it was like, okay, well, game on. Now I want to know everything about YouTube. Motivation comes from different places, and it's an interesting. We did this because we legitimately like making content to mess with our kids. And then it became something different where people started emailing us. I'm a guy, right? And I see these emails and I go, hey, you handle this one. And she would read these stories over, and it's like, how do you not like it just tears at you. People with cancer who never got to get out on the road and they're living through your videos.
Mm.
People that have been bedridden and were able to get up and go, and now they want to do something. People have lost spouses, and they're in their 70s and they want to hit the road, and they want to know if we can give them pointers to do it. And it's like, where is it? How do you take advantage of that? And at the same time, how do you stop making videos when someone's saying, I live for your video coming out Sunday at 5 o'clock?
That you guys remained humble, because look, you're real people, like we're real people. I don't think there's a YouTuber alive that really should be all that famous. Not even Mr.
No, no, because you're uploading to a free site.
Yeah.
YouTube fame is so, like, look, this platform has got to the point where you can buy views, you can buy subscribers, you can buy clicks and thumbs ups and whatever. And it's like everybody's chasing fame, but at the end of the day, it's still at its core a platform that you upload content for free and people watch for free.
If you were going to be interviewed by somebody, what would you hope that they would ask you? What is something that you wish you could let people know that they don't know, that you wished you were interviewed about?
That we're not assholes. Like, legitimately, because we get stuff when Carrie and I do videos, right, before we've even hit the record button, we've written this stuff down that the subjects that we want to talk about, because there's a trigger somewhere. It's either most of our content comes from subscribers. They email us or they'll leave us a comment, you should do a video on this. And then it's the motivation. So we're very analytical people. So when we look at why are people asking us to do this video, right? And then we come out and someone will go, they're preachy. Well, it's not that we're preachy, it's just that there's so much garbage out there that we're trying to explain that it's not that way. So yes, some of it does come across as preachy, but we're not assholes. Putting stuff out there, and it's funny. We're not really good at marketing ourselves. You know, we do everything wrong. We don't do meetups. We keep to ourselves when we're in RV parks. Don't get me wrong, if somebody sees us, and they do, they come up and they talk a lot. We're grateful. Get above 10,000 subscribers, or you have a video that goes above 300,000 views, you get spotted a lot.
It's weird. Like, people just come up to you, like, especially in Thousand Trails places.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm like, yeah, hello. And then somebody in a Walmart of all places.
Yeah.
How do you handle that? You're normal, everyday people, and YouTube took you to a level like a star. How? But I know you guys are humble.
You turn around and you're like, who? Like, who you see? And they're like, oh,
It's
hi.
still-
And we're like, oh, hi. And it's like,
Typically the first thing we do, or I do, is I apologize when they go, hey, you're that guy, right? Because depending on the video, I always, in our top 3 videos are either everybody's quitting and we're calling out somebody being asses, or we're talking about swinging, and then the weed video. and so, but these are real stories, and this is really stuff that's happened, right? So and this is the thing about YouTube, you're always something to somebody. So you're either the guy with the rant channel, which we don't ever want to be, and we've tried saying this 1,000 times, or we're the people that like to talk about swinging when really we didn't know what it was. We thought it was funny. We put it up there. Or there's weed, and we told a funny story about what we've done because we know that. Most of the time, though, we're known for telling somebody something that they had thought was something totally different. You know, whether RVs being all trash or whatever.
I think I was on, it might have been a live the other time, last week maybe, that you were on. And I'm like, I never saw inside of your camper because you're always outside filming it.
Yeah, we try not to film inside too much because of lighting. We don't have all the fancy equipment and stuff. The live stream we did right from here. And that was our first live stream. So we had done one live stream back in like April or May, and like 60 people watched it. So we stopped doing them. Yeah. And then everybody kept asking for one. And I told her, we're only going to do it just to shut people up. Yeah. Because if we do it and nobody watches, I have a reason to say we don't have to do them again. And then we had 1,000 people watching it. Why do you want to watch us?
Go figure.
It's crazy.
On the lighter side, I love the answer that you said you wanted to embarrass the kids on YouTube. Please tell me a story how you did that.
all you have to do is mention them. Because
Oh.
our youngest wouldn't even subscribe to our channel until we had 5,000 subscribers. And so once we did, we made a big deal out of it. Embarrassed the hell out of her.
When we went to see the kids after being on the road for like 9-10 months, and we were in the KOA, they came to see us, and we were walking through with them, and a subscriber came up to us. They got to see it.
Well,
Yeah.
they thought it was, we planned it.
Yeah, yeah.
But we really didn't.
That's fun.
See, I've been embarrassing my kids since they were teenagers, so I'm
Me
very
too.
adept at it,
When we were out west, we met up with a channel called Gone Again. They have a cargo camper, and he's from Montana. And we met up with them, and it was funny. They were interviewing us, we were interviewing them at each other's, doing like a tour of the cargo camper. And this couple came up, calling, like thanking them, and I'm like, wow, it was amazing.
It was like meeting Mick Jagger,
It's crazy. People come up, and we've been at the gas station at Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
We see it probably more than people realize. They'll look at you, and you can tell that they know who you are. And there's a lot of people, because we've jokingly said about being loners and keep it to ourselves, that I think are reluctant to come up, want to.
Yeah.
But we make great friends too. We have friends that we stay in touch with, because we've met them through this. So
I think it's a great community overall.
overall, it is.
It's tough because the people that are at the top, they only show the destination places.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have the ones at the bottom who are just, they talk about the homeless, but nobody talks about the middle. Like you're out there living. You're not seeing all these destination places all the time. You're certainly not homeless. We're just there. We're just being.
Do you have a favorite place to camp?
Favorite state or
South
Carolina.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
are you predominantly camping in the East?
So
So far,
we made it out as far as Texas last year, 2023. We're kind of in a holding pattern at the moment because our kids miss us. So they're moving down here to South Carolina. This is why we're in South Carolina. They're moving down here so they can be closer to us, because this is kind of like a launching off point for us all the time. We always come back here.
Right.
So how long do you stay at a place at a time?
2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. It tends to be 2 weeks. Sometimes it depends on the place. 2 weeks, sometimes it's way too long.
Yeah.
There's been places that we could have stayed a couple of months.
And your camper's 22 feet?
We're 26.1 tip to tail.
26. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not the biggest camper.
No.
So comfortable though. It has its own space. We're together 24/7. Yes.
Yeah.
We also have. It's big enough to move. We're not, bumping into each other all the time, except for now.
Yeah, don't fight. So we went across the country. I don't know if I said this yet, 51 days last year across the country. And
That's awesome.
it was great. I loved it. It felt so free, but we were moving every 2 days. There were some days I didn't even know what town I was in. And I just felt like I didn't have roots. Do you ever feel like you don't have roots?
No, because our Humphrey is our roots.
Humphrey.
Yes, it's
That's
our
their
home.
camper.
You close the doors, close the windows, you have no idea where you are.
Yeah.
We joke around that we could be in our driveway in New Hampshire. We could be at a Cracker Barrel in Texas. We have no clue until you open the door. And that's what's great.
Home.
So the other day I heard you talking about, and I forget, congratulations, I forget the number that you're at with subscribers.
A little over 16.
16, 17. You said something about 20. And you actually made me go Google what happens when you get 20. Is it a magic number?
It's just a number that, if I can be frank, will piss somebody off. Back to the person that wanted to threaten us over Instagram. Well, if we ever disclosed who this was, it would probably shock the YouTube world.
Yeah,
But you could go viral.
No, I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that.
Believe me, I know if we put the video up, we'd hit 1 million views without a problem.
Yes.
But 20,000 for us is a number that picks off somebody. So if you were really, because there's a group of YouTubers who don't like what we do, which
Yeah.
is just be honest, right? Our core message to anybody watching anything is that if you put enough of your mindset into something, you can do this. You can live this life. There may be extreme circumstances where you couldn't, but you can
Right.
do this. And you only have one life. And we see this all the time with people that reach out to us that they waited too long, right? And our message is get out there and do the damn thing already, right? Because if you just let it hold you back, it holds you back. Anybody that takes anything else that I say with any whatever, that's on them.
Yeah.
But there is this group that just because it takes away from their income stream, doesn't like what I say, and it really has nothing to do with her. It's just my voice. And I, as a guy, you could probably relate with this. You know, when you start to get challenged in that way, as our success grew, right? And the only reason our success grows is because the audience accepts it. Every milestone that we've had that's picked off somebody in that group. I'm Italian, so I look at things as like a mafia standpoint, and we've picked off every lower level because we just keep growing. So when we hit 10,000, it was a big deal because we did it before people in that group.
Mhm.
And now 20,000 is the big number.
I mean, obviously you're going to hit the 20,000. You're probably going to get there sooner than later. So what is the goal for your channel? I know you're planning on living this lifestyle for a bit.
As far as like YouTube, so here's the thing: YouTube will do it as long as people watch. When the numbers start dropping and people don't care what we have to say, because everybody has a shelf life on YouTube, at that point it's time to call it a day.
Well, the market is definitely saturated. YouTube is huge. It's not shrinking. It's definitely getting bigger with more channels and stuff.
It's getting
So
bigger, and they're lowering the threshold every day for monetization. Because I think, again, going back to the viewer response is different now. It's going back to they want realism. Uh, we do hokey things. People like hokey things. It. I think
I
you'll see.
must miss those videos. I don't see you embarrassing your kids. I don't
Oh,
see,
go back. Go
huh?
back. Go
I
back.
got to go back.
And
Gotta
Give
go back.
give me a video because you got how many videos?
Oh, geez, under 200. I think a lot of them we've taken down because during the pandemic we were doing eBay videos because we had an eBay business.
Yeah,
Uh, we a lot of one-liners that
yeah.
I put in there. You'll hear me say things like "It's okay, it's fine." That's a slam on my daughter. Uh,
Okay, yeah.
it's written on our refrigerator here. So there's a lot of stuff that's in there that it's like Penelope and Chuck. You'll go through the videos and I call her Penelope and she calls me Chuck. There's no significance to it.
Yeah.
When she ran the funeral home, somebody called her Penelope Prudence. She told me this years later, and it stuck with me. I sing to her songs about Penelope, but I'll put up little things on the video. When she goes off on her little rants, and I'll put up a name tag that says, "Hello, my name is Penelope." Those are one-liners. They're just throw, but people just, but we don't make great content. We make whatever we feel like making, and if it resonates, it resonates. And although we are working on something that I think will shock a lot of people coming out in April.
Oh, do we have the first? No, I'm kidding.
You're getting the first. We have something that's gonna shock the genre, and I think it's gonna wake up a lot of people. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just YouTube. At the end of the day, I think there's value in what the majority of YouTubers do, right? I love your message, and I watched your last video where you guys were just talking about what you wanted to do, where you were going, how things were going over the past 3 years. I like that. That's the kind of stuff that I want to see. I don't want to see the stuff that's overly done anymore.
it's a big problem that I have with YouTube is that somebody puts up a video and they get a lot of views on it, and within a week there's like 1,000 copycats.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, us included. Us included. Our small little channel, we have watched everybody try to replicate what we've done, and especially Everyone's Quitting. I'll use this as a perfect example. Everyone's Quitting worked because it was counterculture. It was counter to what everybody did. We didn't know that going in. We were just pissed off, right? Everybody has tried using that exact same title. Quite a few big channels tried this, but their message wasn't there. And what they don't get is that it wasn't the title, it wasn't the thumbnail, it was the message.
Yeah.
And the message was that we were tired of seeing this stuff. And that's the thing about YouTube, is that everybody recycles, right? And they just constantly rip each other off. And then we do it and we make fun of it.
Yeah.
So if you've done 7 reasons why your black tank needs to be cleaned, we'll do 7 reasons why you should never make a black tank video. We want to do one because people keep asking, just because they think it would be funny.
Really? Yeah.
But it's like, it's all been done. It's like, how many times can you watch somebody go into Buc-ee's anymore? You know what I mean? Buc-ee's is a great gas station.
Oh, I had a question. Are you guys have a special diet or only eat meat?
You want to handle that one? Because like, I'm fat now, so it doesn't matter.
So we've done keto,
Okay.
and once that plateaued, he suggested carnivore.
I told you it was carnivore.
I
And
love
we
carnivore.
did that, and I can't just eat meat. There's no variety there. I don't like it.
That's not true. Try iguana. It's the other white meat.
I'm all set, but thanks.
We have flipped our audience. We would probably be at 40,000 subscribers if we didn't flip our audience so much. So there's people that signed up because they thought we were going to be a rant channel, and as soon as they found out, they jumped ship.
Rant about what?
Like just rant, like I was going to go off, start naming channels and start
okay.
calling
Yeah.
channels out. I'll call channels out by name because 1, I don't want the legal drama that goes with it, and 2, I don't ever want to direct somebody to these channels if they've never heard of. We flipped the channel over. When we did the Read video, I really thought we were going to lose half our audience. If you look at the analytics, they're all older. Our age group is like 65 and up.
Yeah.
That likes our stuff. The majority of watches. They're strong conservatives. We can see the comments that they're Republican. You can see all this stuff. And we thought when we said this, they were going to go. No, it's just been the opposite. They jumped on board. They love it. And again, it's being real
Yeah.
because it was a topic that nobody was covering. Or if they did cover it, it was all this tongue-in-cheek.
Tongue-in-cheek stuff, yeah.
And so like that
Yeah.
video telling that story, she didn't know I was going to do it. And it's all unscripted. And why not?
Yeah. How do you follow his lead? You're a good dance partner.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I know what he's gonna say before he even says it.
Mhm.
And so when I feel that he's starting to stumble, I'll know what to say to snap him right back.
She's really
into,
good. She doesn't like to take point on things.
I really don't.
So I go like, we did a commercial spot for my WAG, which is like a pet monitor thing.
Right.
And really down to the wire, had to get done. And Carrie had all the knowledge. I didn't look at any of this. Carrie's done all the vetting on the sponsor. She's done all the research on it. I know nothing about it. She gave me the talking points as she was going, and she kept missing the cues to film this. Because I said, let's break it down into like 5 sections, and I'll edit it through. And she got frustrated with it, and she gave it to me, and I did it in 1 take.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
but that's how I am.
Do you like this process? The whole filming, editing, compiling,
Her or me.
Not all the
either
time.
one of these.
No, not all the time.
I love the creation. I
With
love
the filming?
the filming, even though a lot of our stuff now is just standing in front of a tripod.
Mhm.
I love just taking something and having a message. And that's why we have there's an underlying message in every video. And
Yeah.
90% of the time is you can do this, right? But I love having a voice that disrupts something. Because I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but when you have somebody that, and I was like this even as a kid, if someone tells you that the sky is green, right, to the point that you see it being green, and then somebody comes out and wakes you up and says the sky is blue, that's a beautiful thing. That moment where you find out something, I think that's great, and I try to give that out there. And it's what is it? All the things that we have changed who we are 1,000 times, from long beards to short beards to hiking to not hiking to whatever. It's all about growth. You grow from everything that you learn.
Yes.
We love going down rabbit holes of, what was the one that we used to love watching? Flat Earth stuff, because it's funny. And but you watch it to the point that you go, okay, you know better, right? But what if they're right? Right?
Do you watch the Y-Files?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he does it. There's if I had a quarter of the talent that he has,
Oh,
I'd be amazing.
well, he's professional. He was a DJ
Absolutely.
or something, but I love him, and he is the inspiration for, which I don't know if he's even going to stay around, but Stinky. I loved Hecklefish. That goldfish is amazing.
It's gold. That is probably one of the best things, and it's little things like that that I love. So like somebody had the foresight to go, I'm going to call this Hecklefish. Think about what the odds.
You know how much merch he sells with that?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. And then, but we watch that and we do something stupid because it's just funny to us. It's like telling the story of Steve, and people jump on board and they want to be friends of Steve. It is one of our channel member things. There's a service level that's called Friends of Steve because it had taken off. We told a story about Steve who saw me naked through the tinted windows of our RV, and never thought that that story was going to go anywhere. And it blew up, and it blew up into this thing. But Hecklefish, oh my God, that's gold.
Yeah, it is. He's brilliant.
Who was it? Vivian Tries.
Yeah.
So there's this YouTuber, Vivian Tries, who basically buys things at the dollar store and whatever, and reviews them and moves on. And she's got this term, and I thought it was brilliant. She's calls germs fungalitis. It's a throwaway thing, whatever, it's silly, right? She made it into a T-shirt because that's the response she's getting, and
Yeah.
she's going to sell a ton of it. I love that.
Well, I'm glad you're here, even if it's just to shake things up a little, because I think this RV world, YouTube world needed to be shaken up a little bit.
I think it does, and I think it won't come from just us. It can't come from just us because it just for us it's exhausting sometimes. Like I don't want to get out there and say everybody is this every time. It's you do need a change in the genre and in the segment. I think what we're doing behind the scenes with our Full Circle Partnership group, which you'll start seeing more of that. I think that's a starting point because there's great content creators that are all at different phases. They all have something different that they bring that are just, what YouTube really should be.
So you're going to be doing YouTube in the future, regardless, whether it's this channel or another.
But we'll always have this channel.
Okay.
So the Full Circle Partnership is more of a behind the scenes thing. It's just a group of people that are going to put an insignia at the front of their videos. And I think we started doing it a few weeks ago. It stays up for 2 seconds. That just lets you know, as the viewer, you can trust this segment because they're being self-policed.
They're being what?
They're being self-policed. So in other words, there's a group that they're held accountable to. And it's not a group about sponsors and whatever. It's just a group of people that say, if these people aren't going to be honest, we're going to boot them out of the group.
That's a good idea. Oh, they must not like that.
It hasn't been announced yet, but yeah.
So let me ask you this. Well, we're nobody anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But are we going to be on? Are we going to be put on a blacklist because we interviewed you and put you up as our first podcast?
I wondered that too. So when we started promoting channels out, I was very clear with the people that we were promoting out that you're just starting or wherever you are. This could go really well for you or it could go really bad for you.
Yeah.
Nobody's reported back any backlash. In fact, they've all grown subscribers.
At this point, I don't think it even matters. Okay. I enjoyed this conversation. I enjoyed this interview.
Likewise.
Thank you for doing, whether it gives us one extra one or none, I don't care. I enjoyed the time that I spent with you. I love to interview people.
I think you're going to be great. I really do.
Well, I hope so.
Watching your process and the way you explain things, I keep going back to that video we watched last night. I think you guys have something here. Interviewing and podcasting has been going on for ages, but there's always a back reason for it. And when you guys just come out and say, I want to do this because I enjoy the process.
I enjoy it.
That's an awesome thing.
I have a mental health video. I have 16 subs now. I'm sorry, mental health channel.
That's awesome.
I had 11 subs last week. Now I have 16. I'm like, oh my God, the mental health channel's great.
But
So I
it's
was
that,
working on that earlier. I'm not making a penny. And it's these little shorts that are 5 seconds long, and it's mental health facts. And the title is Reduce the Stigma. And it's just, and I feel like I'm helping people that way. I don't care if I make a penny.
and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And if I don't say it, sometimes I tend to be a little too cocky, but it is really at its core, it's just helping people.
Yeah.
None of this means, I could get up there in a soapbox and preach all day long, but none of it means anything if nobody watches. And if they're watching, it's because they're getting something from it. It is a funny thing is we turned on channel memberships because we don't want to do Patreon. It's the last thing I need is another platform to deal with. And people signed up.
Yeah.
Why? We're just two people with a camera. And I'm like, this is crazy. And we're still giddy with this because it's like people want us to send them postcards in the mail. What?
I want to get giddy and send postcards.
But I mean, it's funny because you have the big thing about YouTube is that you have such an ability to reach people on so many different levels.
That's a good one. So
We have a video coming out on Sunday, which is about being fake on YouTube, right?
about a
And
what? Fake?
about
Fake.
being
Oh, being
fake,
fake.
right? And there's a couple of different reasons it goes into that, but it's just a walk and talk video. But it's really what we've watched this genre become. There's big channels that are religious, like ultra religious, that are afraid to say they are because they don't want to deal with the backlash from their audience.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't care where you stand on the religion side of it, but nobody should be afraid of who they are,
That's
all
true.
to make a dollar. Right. And I'm talking big channels like almost 1 million subs
Yeah.
that don't like that out there. When it's out there, they lose their mind.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't people just be real? Like, I would never jeopardize who we are for $1. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But these people, religion's a powerful thing, right? And if you're religious and you're turning your back on your faith to make money,
Yeah.
that's crazy to me. Crazy to me.
When we started this channel, my grandson says, okay, what kind of YouTuber are you going to be? Like, what kind of persona are you going to have? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm just going to be me. That's all I know how to be. But apparently, well, I'm not an actress, so I don't know. But apparently, yeah, I guess you could be whatever you want. But
You
I
could-
wanted to ask you, and do you think this is important? I don't want to forget before we run out of time. Do you have an exit plan? And do you think that's important to have an exit plan from this mobile lifestyle if you can't do it anymore for whatever reason?
Oh boy, I think we have different opinions on this one.
We
Mhm.
don't.
So we do and we don't. So we have enough money that I can get out at any moment and
Yeah.
not have a problem with it. But there is no plan in place because the
Yeah.
minute you have a plan, you have a reason to fail. But
Mm.
selling the house, had we kept the house, it always gives us a reason to say we're done, right? That little shitty RV park that we spent 3 weeks in, that was horrible. We could have gone home if we had a house. But when you're stuck because you paid for that, you make
Yeah.
the most of that pretty quick. And that's what this life's about. It's not all perfect. It's not all. I mean, we're in an RV park in the middle of South Carolina that is literally 100 yards from a train that goes by here 12 times a night.
Oh,
it's-
we had many of those.
But it's cheap. We're paying $600 for the month. They're fantastic. The landscape is $1 million landscaping here. It's just been a great experience. But if we had a place to go, we probably would have bailed after the first night. So
You bring up a good point because it's a little bit more cozy and comfy, but the lifestyle, it's hard to beat. I mean, like I said, we only did 51 days at a time, but we think about it. We think about it a lot. But
most we had ever done prior to going full time, I think, was 10 days. And so talk about a shock, right?
Yeah.
But it's such a once you're depending on what your level of involvement is with your house, if you're mowing the lawn and you're maintaining and you're pushing snow and everything, so it's a constant thing. I don't have any of that anymore.
Yeah.
And I actually know her now because we just speak to each other all the time.
wait, but you had was it clickbait? You had a title, It Ruined Our Relationship?
So we did.
Yes.
We had a thing called It Destroyed Our Marriage, and it destroyed our concept of marriage. And we're very clear on that.
I didn't
like,
watch the video. Okay.
yeah, within like a minute or two in the video, it destroyed our constructor concept of marriage. What we had thought was a happily married couple walking down the street really wasn't, because we didn't know each other.
We were roommates.
We were
really,
roommates.
with kids.
And there's things you can do in a house that you can't do in the RV, and that's what that video is about. So like being, full of burritos and, farting all night long, you can do that in your house, but if you're in an RV, it's probably not going to fly. So
Yeah.
you need to be a little more respectful of each other's boundaries and who we are as people. And RV life changed a lot for us on that level.
Yeah.
We still have arguments. We still fight when it, once every 6 or 8 months when stress is too much. But they're not like it would have been at home.
Yeah.
Because I can't leave. She can't leave.
I want to thank you again for
Yeah, likewise.
allowing us to interview you. And Carrie, you spoke so much, so I know you have to listen.
See, it happens. It does
Does
happen.
It does. So you're going to end it. You're going to end this podcast. We have less than a minute, it says.
I love it.
Oh no, I'm not. Don't put me on the spot like that.
You're right. I did put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, I'm good. But I appreciate you both. Really, seriously, thank you for having us.
No, thank you for throwing us a bone here, allowing us to interview. Like I said, I would love to do podcasts like this.
I could just say something at the end real quick. She's the one that drives all of this. She's the one that has the time that she spends getting to know everybody over emails and comments and stuff. She dives in. I give thumbs ups and move on. She's really the backbone of everything here. None
That's
of
so
it
sweet.
is without her. No, seriously, that's true. So, and I think
Well-
there's a lot of people that would chime in to say exactly that.
So, hey, be sure to check out Life Redesign's channel. They got some interesting videos. They're a great couple. And if you like this podcast, please give us a thumbs up. Remember, we are not professionals. We're two old people who don't know what we're doing. Thanks, everyone.